The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3. It's randomly delicious.
It is randomly delicious. You just have to choose which portion, right? Some are not as delicious as others. Bullfighter writes in, I'll be honest with you, Chuck. It'd be great for Nebraska to move on in basketball, but I don't root for any basketball team besides Tech. Okay. Here I tried to throw him some flowers, and he threw them back at me.
I didn't think he threw them back.
He just didn't care for him. How about that? You just, which is fine. You can root for.
I think he said he's just not a flower guy. Thanks for the flowers, just not a flower guy.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Jamie, I enjoyed the Tim Tadlock show last night. I really liked Coach giving us insight on players. Good questions, Jamie. What did you learn, or what did you gather from last night's version of Red Raider Baseball with Tim Tadlock?
Gathered that I think he really likes this team as far as being around this group of guys. I think he feels like it's a group of guys that work hard and a group of guys that really enjoy, playing the game, whether it be practice or the games. I think he thinks the chemistry is really good on this team. But, knows that they have flaws and knows they need to keep getting better, but at the same time is really enjoying this group.
I think I've heard you say this and Gus say this, and maybe even Coach Tadlock, that this is a, quote, fun team to watch.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to hear any of us say it. I mean, look at how many runs they're scoring. That's usually fun to watch, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is there...
I would suggest to anyone, whether they're on this show or just out there listening, hey, this is a fun team to watch.
Yeah, right.
You should watch them.
Or listen to it.
Whether you're going to the ballpark or whether you're, listening on the radio, watching on TV, whatever. It's an entertaining team. It is definitely a fun brand of baseball.
Was there anything that surprised you by what he said last night with any of the things that you asked him?
If there was anything that he said that surprised me, it wouldn't have probably had to do with this team.
Okay.
Because it's not like he usually breaks news.
Yeah.
That's not what he does. I can't think of anything offhand that surprises me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got TCU this weekend. Is it a surprise that they're not really off to the start that everybody thought that they were going to be off to?
TCU we're talking about?
Yeah.
I would say due to the injuries that they've had, that makes it a little unsurprising, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah. Their injuries have been significant. They lost their Friday guy. They lost a key infielder that they've gotten back, the infielder. One of their outfielders has been out. I think he's close to returning, so my assumption is he'll be back just in time for tomorrow.
Of course, right? That's what
Chase Brunson is his name.
It always seems to happen that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they're missing their Friday night guy, which I think was a significant loss. I don't think he's done for the season, but I don't think that's determined at this point.
Okay. Any of his players that just stood out to him that so far that he's like, okay, wow. I mean, did you ask him about Jesse Rusnick and the pitching situation that we were talking about the other day, where I think he came in, then he went back, and then you were like thinking, okay, is he going to go back? Or
yeah, we've talked about that. I think there's a possibility that it could happen. We'll see. I mean, it's got to be the right situation where he could come into a game and go back to the outfield and then come back in. Yeah, not leave the game. So, and go back in to pitch. So, yeah, I think that could happen. I think you saw on Sunday, Jesse had obviously played in the outfield all 3 days of the weekend, pitched on Friday, got 4 batters out, and then on Sunday came back in and pitched and had a strong inning and looked good, but that next inning he looked like he had run out of gas. And so I think that was a bit of a fact-finding mission of, okay, how much can we use him, and how much, what's the toll on his body and his, just what he's got left when you're out there playing in the outfield as well. And obviously in Arizona, they had record temperatures and all that kind of stuff, and it's in the hundreds, and he's out there running around playing outfield. That probably gasses you a little bit as a pitcher too.
I think so, right?
How much those things factor into what he can do.
You talked about this the other day, and this may be a really stupid question, but how much different is the outfield glove from the pitching glove?
I think it's not as long.
Not as long.
Yeah,
okay.
Not as long.
So it's good because the longer it helps you with
outfielder, whether he's diving for a ball or
reaching his arm up
over the wall, or just like a one that he jumps and tries to catch. Yeah,
and probably that longer glove gets in the way of your motion or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think the smallest glove you'll see is like a second baseman, because he's wanting to get it out of his glove as quick as possible, right? It's like in and out, all that good stuff. I think shortstop and third baseman are. I could be wrong on this one. Maybe I would guess that they're a next length. There's just a little bit more to them. Okay. But, and obviously a first baseman's mid is a little bit different, and it's longer too, so they can scoop and all that good stuff.
It was just interesting to me when, I think
you see some of those guys with their outfield gloves. I mean, you feel like you could take up from your elbow to your hand. I mean, they're massive. It's like they're out there with a fishing net.
Well, it was just interesting to me when you guys I think you were talking about this the other day during one of the games. You're like, okay, Jesse's got to go get his pitching glove. I'm like, pitching glove? Wow, that was interesting to me. Well,
you also want the one that's got the full cover, so if you got the ball in your glove, you can't see how your grip is. Yeah. Not all outfield gloves have that.
Yeah.
And I think Jesse has a one-colored glove, if I remember correctly, but you can't have multicolors on your glove if you're a pitcher.
Yeah, that makes sense. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Cry no tears for TCU and their injuries. Everyone got their licks on us the last few seasons when injuries got us. The world is round, and I hope we steamroll them and kick them while they are down. Screw those guys.
And we're down 3 pitchers right now also, so I am definitely not feeling bad for them. I don't think anybody's feeling bad for us, but the Red Raiders are down 3 pitchers right now. So, Sorry about you, TCU. Yeah. And not that they did it to themselves, but I hate it for the kid.
Sure.
I mean, you don't want him to miss a whole season. But
sure. I got you.
He's a draft-eligible guy, too, so you really hate it for him.
Yeah. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
This day in sports history today is Thursday, March the 26th, 2026. 26. Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
1937 is where we will get started today with Joe DiMaggio taking Ty Cobb's advice and replaces his 40-ounce bat with a 36-ounce one. 1952, the 14th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship took place. Kansas beat St. John's 80-63. It was the first tournament to have a true Final Four format. 1960, Orioles-Reds series planned for Havana is moved to Hawaii.
Yeah, there's this thing called Cuba.
Yes.
Problem child.
There's issues there.
Yeah.
1973, 35th NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. UCLA beats Memphis 81-76. Bruins' 7th straight title. Future Hall of Fame center Bill Walton Tournament Most Outstanding Player for the 2nd consecutive year.
Doesn't happen very often. That probably will never happen again.
I don't know, man. With NIL, all things are possible.
True.
Most likely, if someone does it, they'll do it for 2 different schools.
1979 NCAA basketball tournament. Michigan State beats Indiana State 75-64. Marks the start of a rivalry between the future Hall of Famers Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. highest rated game in history of televised college basketball.
Yeah, I think you kind of point to that night as a night that has flipped the switch for college hoops for a lot of folks, even the casual fan.
2003, Andre Emmett scores 29 points to lead Texas Tech past Georgia Tech 80-72 in an NIT quarterfinal game, sending Bob Knight to the tournament semifinals for the 6th time in his 37-year career as a head coach.
I think that game was here. I think that game was in Lubbock.
It is National Nougat Day.
Nougat or nugget?
Nougat.
Nougat is like some kind of caramel mixtured something that's in candy bars. Yeah.
It's also National Spinach Day because those two go together very well.
Yeah. Which candy bars have nougat in them?
Snickers,
Milky Way maybe or something?
Milky Way. Anything that when you like spread it apart, you get that thin ribbon of awesomeness between the two of them, the two halves.
How do you spell nougat, Chuck?
I'm going to say it's Nueget.
That would be incorrect. NOU.
GAT. I wouldn't have gotten it right either, Chuck. But Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers.
I thought
Baby
Three Musketeers.
Ruth and Charleston Chew.
Yeah.
Huh.
I thought Three Musketeers had
Toblerone.
Mm-hmm.
Reese's Fast Break. I'll stop.
Keira Knightley, 41. Martin Short, 76. Vicki Lawrence, 77. Steven Tyler, 78. Kenny Chesney, 58. Marcus Allen, 66. Von Miller, 37. And the dirtiest player in NBA history that got away with it his entire career, John Stockton, turned 64.
Wow. You share that hate on John Stockton, Jamie?
I have an appreciation for his game because he's a big assist guy, and I liked that. But I do think he was a dirty player.
That's insanely dirty and completely.
Over and over again, the league voted him as one of the dirtiest players in the league.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and got away with it every time because everybody was watching Karl Malone for some reason.
But I thought he was a great player. I enjoy watching players who enjoy passing the ball.
Oh, sure. 1997, following an anonymous tip, police enter a mansion in Ranchero, Santa Fe, an exclusive suburb of San Diego, California, and discover 39 victims of a mass suicide. The deceased 21 women, 18 men of varying ages were all found lying peacefully in matching dark clothes with Nike sneakers and had no noticeable signs of blood or trauma. It was later revealed that the men and women were members of the Heaven's Gate religious cult, whose leaders preached that suicide would allow them to leave their body containers and enter an alien spacecraft hidden behind the Hale-Bopp comet. And that is this day in sports history.
And they would also leave their Nike sneakers and end up in Under Armours.
That is this day
Which right there is a heavenly thought.
In sports history, yeah. Also, I told you about Texas Tech's Pro Day today. Also coming to Lubbock today, reportedly, Dallas Cowboy coach Brian Schottenheimer.
Shoddy?
I do not like that nickname. It just seems very
shoddy.
It just seems very. I don't know. It's like they're looking down on him when they call him shoddy. I mean, I don't know. It seems very weird to me. It just seems. Are there any other head coaches in the National Football League that have a quote nickname like that the national broadcasters or just people in general refer to him as shoddy? I mean, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. It seems disrespectful to me.
I think there's been plenty of coaches, probably a lot of them for the Jets, that have a nickname that's somewhat close to shoddy.
Right. I got it. But
I don't know what nicknames NFL coaches go by, Chuck. So.
Well, I don't recall any. I just think it's disrespectful. But I mean, I wouldn't call him shoddy.
I mean, if he was a baseball guy, Schottenheimer would definitely be called shoddy.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a head football coach. And I realize that everybody in the locker room has a nickname. Do they have a nickname for you?
Is it disrespectful that the players and everybody around the Tech baseball team call Coach Tadlock Tad? Is that disrespectful?
No, I think that's okay. I mean, do you call him Tad?
I call him Coach.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it's not like he said, Jamie, just call me Tad. It's okay. He's not said that to you, has he? Because if he had, he would call him Tad, right?
I maybe.
You know, I don't know that I generally call him. 99 out of 100 times, maybe even 999 out of 1,000. I'll say Coach. I'll call him Coach. Everybody's Coach.
What about Bum Phillips? Bum, not his first name. It was Andrew. Actually, it's Oval? Oil? Oh.
What?
Yeah. But he goes by Bum. He went by Bum.
You went from Andrew to Oval to Oil.
Bum. Andrew's his middle name. It's Oil Andrew Bum Phillips.
Oil Andrew. Oil.
I gotta fact check that.
Bum Phillips. Nickname. He's even a junior.
OAIL is correct. Andrew Bum Phillips Jr. Oil.
There's a coach with a nickname.
Yeah.
And a thumping good one.
First of all, he's been dead for 13 years.
You said you couldn't think of another one. I'm just trying to help you with another one.
A current one.
I will guarantee you that there is NFL coaches that their players call them by a nickname.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the
you just think
people.
shoddy sounds bad.
I do. I don't like shoddy. For some reason, I just don't. I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Okay.
Well, we'll be sure to tell him, Chuck.
If I saw him today, if I walked into a local eatery and he was sitting there with his cowboy gear on, I'd say, Coach Schottenheimer, it's good. It's nice to see you. Appreciate what you're trying to do.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Boy, you go from the reverent and Field of Dreams to the irreverent, fun-loving, Harry Carey.
Room for baseball for all of it.
Yep. The Rangers will send Nathan Eovaldi to the Hill today. And Christopher Sanchez goes for the Philadelphia Phillies. Rangers were 81-81 a year ago. Do they have a chance to touch 90 this year?
I think if things broke right, that wouldn't shock me.
Okay.
Not a huge jump.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I don't think the division besides Seattle is going to be great. So, that would give you an opportunity to do that.
It's kind of one of those deals where obviously winning the one-run games, right? I mean, winning the, just kind of taking care of business as best you can. Winning early, all those types of things. I wanted to see the pitching matchup for tomorrow to see if Jacob deGrom was going to go tomorrow because.
Are you going to doubt Jacob deGrom all season long again?
Mm-mm.
No, we're not doing that this year?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Would you, though? Because it worked out really well last year for the Rangers.
No, I don't think I will. I just know this, that the Ranger skipper said, basically he was a guy that they were going to use early. They weren't going to just bring him along slowly. They were going to kind of see what he had, and he's going to go in the second game of the season. The Rangers will not play tomorrow, and this is pretty common. I guess they do play tomorrow. No, they don't play tomorrow. The Rangers don't play tomorrow. This is so that in case, and this is very common this time of year, where you have a rain out, then you can still have your opening day the next day.
Yeah, I these odd schedules at the beginning of the year are always a little frustrating to me.
They drive you crazy, don't they? Yeah.
Let's start the season and take 2 days off.
Yeah.
And start the season again and take 2 more days off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Yankees and Giants aren't playing today.
Let's see here. Great job with the music, Jeff McGuire. Okay, so compliment there.
I mean, listen, today's a layup.
Yeah.
This isn't thinking hard for music.
Dodgers and fill in the blank in the American League. Do you hate what the Dodgers have done, or are they just kind of taking advantage of kind of what's out there, and other teams are more than welcome to do it, and the Dodgers have just done a better job of doing it than anybody else here recently?
By better job, you mean they've spent more money?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would be pretty hypocritical if I said, man, I don't like how the Dodgers are spending more money than everybody else. But as you guys know, I've always wanted a salary cap in baseball.
Right.
So I don't hate what the Dodgers are doing. I'm not rooting for them because they're the prohibited favorite every year. Mm-hmm. They have amassed by far the most amount of talent. They have also spent by far the most amount of money. So that's how it works in Major League Baseball. It's how it works in college football. Right?
Absolutely.
That's a big factor. Yeah. And if you don't think it's a big factor, you're lying to yourself. Yeah. So the Dodgers are doing what's allowed. They're allowed to do it. So I can't, feel like they're the devil for doing it. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. But and the other part of it is it's not a group of guys that you like are dislikable.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I mean, Ohtani and Freeman and Mookie Betts. I mean, those are good dudes. Those are likable guys. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's a group of guys that you're like, man, these are the worst, and they're getting paid huge money and they're buying championships. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
they're not buying a roster full of Draymond Greens.
There's not a whole lot of homegrown talent that they're working with here.
No, there's not. Mm-hmm. There's not. But I mean, all that having been said, the Blue Jays almost won the World Series. In fact, you could say the Blue Jays should have won the World Series.
Yeah, if I was predicting, a World Series matchup again this year, I would predict it to be those two teams again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that was as compelling and as, thrilling and as, heart-stopping and sit on the edge of your seat for, which is one of the great things about baseball is, I had no skin in the game for either one of those teams. I mean, I had no hate or love for either one of those teams, yet that World Series was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And that Game 7 was as good as you can get. And you kind of walked away, and at least I did, feeling sorry for the Blue Jays. But they had their opportunities.
Yeah, no, I'm not feeling sorry for the Blue Jays.
No, I understand. I understand that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had no skin in the game.
Yeah.
I had no skin in the game. This is not a compliment, I don't think. Chuck wastes enough words for everyone, ... Well, maybe that's a compliment because then nobody else has to waste words. You're taking
one for the team.
Yeah.
It's very kind of you, Chuck.
Being a good teammate. Yes.
Very nice of you.
I don't know that everybody sees it that way, though. Do you think people still look at the Astros and go, you're a bunch of cheaters?
I think they're...
Yep, I do.
I think I don't think they look at this group of guys and say that.
No, but I mean, just the organization in general. I think the
stink stays with Jose Altuve. Mm-hmm. But I don't think anybody's saying that about Alex Bregman at this point. I don't think I don't think people are talking about the organization as a whole right now. I mean, you feel like the guts of it were, ripped out and it's new people.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think people, I could be wrong on this, carry on this hatred for the Astros because of that. Now, Rangers fans hate the Astros because they're their rival.
Sure. I mean,
Right.
that goes without saying, right?
Okay. I mean, and what they did in going to 7 straight ALCS is really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Really impressive.
Yeah. Today for the Astros, the Astros will send Hunter Brown to the Hill. Jose Soriano will go for the Los Angeles Angels. Is there a team outside the Yankees that you go that you're either fond of or that you quietly root for or that you don't? That kind of just like, okay, that's nice for them.
I mean, obviously, they're the Rangers and the White Sox because of Josh and Davis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And if Davis were to go somewhere else, then you would move.
Yeah. I mean, those are not the only guys, but those are two of the Red Raiders that I was more friendly with. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think
I wasn't rooting for Caleb Killian's San Francisco Giants last night, in case you were wondering?
No.
And I think Caleb's a great dude.
You know, I wasn't wondering.
But
I'd forgotten about him.
I hope his team gets swept to start the season.
Okay.
And then they're great after that.
Have you texted him to tell him that?
No.
Do you have his number to text him that?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How many Red Raiders are on Major League Baseball rosters?
I think it's 7, maybe.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think it's 7. I have the list.
That's really impressive. All right. 7:25 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We'll have baseball today. 2:40 for the Astros and the Angels on 100.7 The Score. The Rangers and the Phillies today
6.
at 2.
6.
6 Red Raiders. That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, we're going to talk a little Red Raider baseball. Today's question of the day. And today's question is, give me your biggest surprises for Red Raider baseball this year. One positive and one negative.
Okay. I think for me, the surprise, and I just think it's a great story, is what Jesse Rusnick's done for you so far. I think just, the ability to play in the outfield and come in and pitch and hit and do all this as a freshman. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a really great story. Just what he's done on the field for you so far, and kind of feels like that he's really lifted this team at times. Okay,
he's been a factor.
Been a factor. I mean, and maybe it's the kind of the Shohei Ohtani factor. I mean, I'm certainly not comparing him to Shohei Ohtani, but I mean, he's doing comparable things at the college level because he's not a starting pitcher. He's pitching, and he's hitting, and he's playing the outfield, and seems to be managing it. I guess to me, with the exception of Lucas Perko, and maybe what happened the other day with Hayes on the hill, I just feel like the starting pitching has been disappointing overall. Just because you haven't been able to get very deep in games, and you've had to rely on others, and it's created problems to the point where you have to score 8, 10, 12 runs to win.
Okay.
I am shocked. Surprise doesn't even describe it. Shocked is really the better word for how much of a different attitude this team has than last year's team when it comes to being down 1-0 or 2-0. The turnaround that has been from last year to this year. Like last year, 2 run down on the bottom of the first, game's over, we'll just go ahead and go home now. It wasn't quite that bad. It was close. It felt like it. This team down by 6 in the 7th. Nah, we got this. Let's go. And a lot of that has to do with the offensive potency that you have. But how quickly that shifted is shocking to me in a very positive way. The negative side, With the changes that you made this offseason, I was expecting a lot more from your pitching staff in general. I don't know that I was expecting some giant leap for all mankind, but it doesn't feel like that they've advanced as far as I thought they should have.
Okay, I was specifically referring to players. You guys went different than that, but that's okay if I wasn't specific. Excuse me, I thought I was referring to, and if I wasn't specific enough, that's on me.
No,
so,
you were.
I'll tell you the biggest surprise to me in the negative is that, this may be low-hanging fruit here, but I thought Hollis Porter was going to be a factor on this team. Hollis Porter's not even on this team anymore. So I thought he's the transfer from Maryland. I thought he'd be a guy that would do a lot of DHing for you and do a lot of damage hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He got 7 at-bats before he left the program, so he's, he clearly is. I was way wrong on that. I would say the biggest surprise to me has been, knock on wood here, is the jump that Kyler Thompson has made from year 1 as a Red Raider to year 2. He hit 257 last year. He's like at 390 this year. He's been terrific. He's been really, really good. Seeing him in the fall and the spring, seeing how he had added good weight, that's not, I kind of expected him to take a step forward, but more than 100 points on your batting average is pretty impressive from what he's done this year compared to last year. So that would be one to me. I think another positive kind of surprise is Logan Addison. He's a guy last year that he couldn't find the strike zone, just had good stuff and couldn't find the strike zone. And I know he's had a couple of rough outings, and so his ERA is not picture perfect, but I think he's going to be a guy as you continue on in this season and continue to next year, that he's going to keep getting better and better because he's got really good tools to work with. And when you can throw at 96 and 97, not everybody can do that. And he's got a terrific breaking ball as well to add along with that. So I think his stuff's going to keep getting better. I think he's going to keep getting more confident and being a bigger factor for this team because, again, there's arm talent there. And I think this coaching staff, Jeff, you're expecting a bigger jump. I just think it takes way, way, way longer than a few months. Way longer than a few months. You don't have this. Those guys didn't get to
do anything until
they didn't get to recruit any of their guys.
Right.
They didn't get to really. As late as they came in the process or whatever. These guys haven't had a year of working in their system and doing all of their things. So I just think it takes time. I get that we all want to jump forward as quick as possible, but I think there's tons of progress being made. You also see inconsistency. Yes, I think there's tons of progress being made, and I think in the upcoming years it'll show. It's just, it's disappointing that it's not an instant gratification fix.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
We can't swipe left and have,
yeah, we just can't get a match. No, I get it.
It doesn't work like that. This isn't a cell phone.
I'm not burying any of those guys. It doesn't feel like.
No,
maybe it's because of the consistency.
The numbers aren't good.
Yeah.
But also look at the Big 12 Conference.
None of the numbers are good.
Okay. There is one team that has an ERA and conference-only stats that's under 5. Okay, and there are like 6 of them that are above 7. Okay, so you can see the Red Raiders are with a lot of other schools when it comes to Big 12 right now that don't have dominant pitching staffs. That's just the way it is. And why do they have dominant pitching staffs in the SEC, Chuck?
Because they have more money to spend.
Because they spend a lot more money on baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Big 12 is going to be a high-scoring league this year because the hardest guys to find are great pitchers, and those are the ones that cost the most money. And the Big 12 is not spending on baseball what the SEC is spending on baseball. So it doesn't give you a ton of confidence when you get to postseason play, does it?
No.
But when you have an offense like the Red Raiders have, and if you can keep improving in pitching, then you have a chance to do some damage.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. And 3 presents the Morning Drive Power Hour. The Power Hour is presented by Service Compression, committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com.
8:02 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today as we come to you from the First United Bank studio. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Man, I'll bet the old Toyota Center is going to be jam-packed in downtown Houston tonight, because you've got in the Sweet 16 the 4-seed Nebraska and the 9-seed Iowa. I mean, the way that the Nebraska fans packed up and went to Oklahoma City, it's further obviously from Lincoln to Houston. And same thing from Iowa City to Houston, but I'm sure that's going to be a tough ticket. And then tonight, what you have with Houston being in action there at the Toyota Center, taking on the 3-seed Illinois. Have you ever been to the Toyota Center in Houston?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was at the Final Four.
Okay.
And found out that the Rockets had a Sunday night game.
Okay, so you went to the Sunday night game.
And so Chris Level and I were hanging out, and we're like, let's go to the Rockets game. He's like, you know anybody with the Rockets? And I was like, I know one person with the Rockets. Let's see if I can get us some tickets. The person called me back and said, I don't have any tickets, but I have a suite for you. You guys want a suite? So Chris Level and I sat in a suite while watching the Rockets game.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I had kind of forgotten all about that until you mentioned that.
Yeah, I've been to the Toyota.
I told him I knew Chris Level, and he was with me.
Okay.
And so that's probably what got it done. So it was the Rockets and the Suns.
Yeah. I saw a Rockets game there. And it's a pretty cool place. But the thing that stood out to me is it's hard to move around in the Toyota Center, because I was trying to improve my lie to take a picture of our daughter who was being introduced at that game, our youngest, and it was just me and her that went to the game. And man, the security in terms of trying to go from one part of the arena to another part of the arena was unmatched in terms of what I'd seen in other places. I mean, usually you go to a game and go, I see those 2 seats right down there. I'm gonna go down there and sit, because it's darn near impossible to do that at a Rockets game. Okay, so I asked you earlier about these games, so let me ask you who you think is going to win tonight. Okay, you think is going to win tonight. So the first game up at 6:10 is the 11-seed Texas and the 2-seed Purdue.
I think Purdue will win.
Okay. I agree with you, although, because at some point in time but maybe Texas has kind of found its way and galvanized, but at this point in time, you'd have to say extremely successful season now for Texas. I mean, they barely got in the tournament. They were in the first 4, and now here they are in the Sweet 16. So extremely successful for Sean Miller, and you would have to think that that's going to really kind of boost them kind of moving forward. The 9-seed Iowa against the 4-seed Nebraska. Iowa coached by Ben McCullum, who, when Grant McCaslin came here, he was going to be an assistant coach, and I think came here and interviewed. Who knows how close it got, but he ended up not taking that job, and then ended up leaving where he was, took another job, and then got to Iowa last year. This is his first year there, so he's obviously had a lot of success. Who do you think wins this game?
Nebraska.
Do you think it's a double-digit win for them?
No, I think it's a tight one.
Okay. Then later on tonight, And let's see, this Nebraska game will be in Houston. The Texas-Purdue game will be in San Jose. Then also in San Jose is the number 1 seed Arizona against the 4 seed Arkansas. Arkansas probably has to think at this point in time it's pretty successful, but when the Tyson Chicken folks hired John Calipari to be the head coach at Arkansas, they were thinking a little further than the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I feel like you're looking to put everybody's season into wrap a bow on them, and is it a good one? Is it a bad one? And whatever. I mean, going back to the Texas thing, I don't think Longhorn fans are going to be like, "Hey, it was a really successful season." They barely got into the tournament. Yes, they won a couple games, but I don't think that takes away the disappointment of being very mediocre and barely getting in and having to play for 2 years in a row in the play-in game. And I don't think anybody at Arkansas is thinking about, okay, is this farther than we thought we should have been? Nobody's playing with house money or anything like that. Everybody's like, hey, we're how many wins away from a national championship? That's what we're worried about. We're worried about one game. Yeah. We're worried about one game. We're not thinking about, is this successful or is it not? Did we get it with the money we paid for it from the chicken folks? That's not what you're thinking about at this time of the year.
Okay. All right. So who wins this game between Arizona and Arkansas?
Arizona.
Going away, double-digit win?
No, I'm good, but I'm going to say
it's not going to be a buzzer beater or anything like that.
4.
4. Okay.
4.
And then the 2 seed Houston playing in Houston at the Toyota Center against the 3 seed Illinois. Houston 30-6. Brad Underwood's team is 26-8.
Yeah, I think Houston cruises.
Okay.
At home.
Cruises. Okay. All right,
Pretty much home.
Those are our games for tonight. The coverage begins at 6 o'clock on 100.7 The Score. Okay. All right, well, we'll see.
Do you disagree with any of my picks?
No. I'm going to root. I guess I'll root for Purdue. I'll be somewhat reluctant, but it's understandable. I think I hope
that changed quick in like an hour and a half. He was all about Purdue earlier because they were playing the Longhorns.
I know.
And now you're thinking about rooting for the Longhorns.
I kind of like Sean Miller, actually, the coach of the Longhorns. Ben McCollum, I'm going to root for him tonight over the Cornhuskers. Arizona, I'm fine with them winning. I'm fine with either team winning that game. And then, as far as Houston is concerned, he probably deserves to win a national championship at some point in time, Kelvin Sampson. So we'll see if he can get it done.
Because he's just a good old guy.
I mean, I've become kind of a fan of his, but I don't know that I would go with he deserves to. All the cheating he did, he deserves to be, playing for coaching a terrible program. But he's a great coach, and again, I think he's making a lot of sense these days.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.